Back with another Top G and Uncle B podcast. And today we're starting off with, is Starlink good for South Africa? What do you think?
Without going political or going anywhere that I shouldn't go, I think Starlink is absolutely a must for South Africa. Looking at purely the advantage of having cost-effective internet in terms of educating yourself, self-education, versus not having access to information. Because you said off camera, having access to free information quickly will equate to a better education. I saw Gary Vee do this. I'm going to quickly do it for you. Just a simple, quick test. Let me just quickly open my Chat GPT and just do this. Who was the 15th President of the United States of America? Go.
The 15th President of the United States was James Buchanan. He served from 1857 to 1861, right before Abraham Lincoln. His presidency was marked.
Okay. The fact that I can do that off my phone means that the current education system, which is, in my opinion, a parrot education system. We go, the teacher writes down a bunch of dates with why they are important and what happened on that date, and you have to go home, mimic and memorize all those dates and spit it out like a parrot. I just got information from Chat GPT by just pushing a button, asking a question, and I can ask anything, and it's there and it's free. So
I think, I mean, if we had to look at the data in South Africa, only 1.7% of rural households, this is a 2023 study, have access to the internet.
1.7%. That's 1.7%. Let's say it tripled. It's still a single-digit number.
1.7%
have access to information.
Access to the internet, okay? So those people are still learning using paper, books
that are outdated,
that are probably outdated, et al. 1984, and in many ways, how we learn is by connecting the dots across multiple disciplines. You don't learn a topic in science without having to overlay that with some mathematics.
Perfect, 100%, yeah.
The two aren't in isolation, whereas textbook type learning, classroom type learning will teach you science in one course and maths in another course. The two very rarely meeting.
Yes. And they're actually, they're intertwined. They're connected. They have to work together.
And when you've got access to the internet, so access to the internet just is the start. That's just the base of access to information. 1.7% of households have internet access. That's 2023 study.
So Elon recently said the main reason he's pushing Starlink to South Africa is to give the South African unemployment a chance. So how do you become employed? Well, you become employed by being empowered, being educated, and having some skills. How do you develop skills? You need access to information. How do you get access to information when only 1.7% of rural areas have access to internet? It's impossible. So all of a sudden, you provide a cost-effective way to get that number to 50%. Imagine what we look like as a country. 50, 60, 70% of the population have access to the internet and access to free education. It's basically free education.
Exactly.
And it's so just my mind's running wild. For example, I don't know how to run Facebook ads. Okay. I go and watch 10 very good high quality YouTube videos for free on how to run Facebook ads, and then I go and run a Facebook ad. I'm going to lay it onto another perfect example. One of my very good friends' wife has an honors degree in marketing in Europe. honors degree. She's a young lady, 3 or 4 years younger than me. And she never flaunts that, I've got an honors degree, but there is that little bit of not arrogance, maybe arrogance.
Confidence.
Well, confidence.
Overconfidence.
Overconfidence that creeps into a conversation because I'm speaking marketing every day, all day. I love marketing. I love advertising.
How do you know someone has a degree?
They tell you.
They tell you.
Yeah, they tell you, of course. So she says, well, when I did my honors in marketing, you are incorrect. I said, okay, cool. 100%. Tell me, do you know how to effectively go and select the correct hashtags that are platform relevant to Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok to drive viewership for the specific piece of content that you've posted? No. So what do you know? Well, I know this 1984 book. Well, how will that help me today? Like, is there anything in your master? And I'm not bashing a master's degree because they've structures and they've got areas that they've.
Well, I think university. Sorry to cut across. I think university education only teaches you one thing, and that is how to learn.
Yes.
Now I'm going to do exactly the same thing. So when I was at university and we graduated, okay, I will never forget this talk by one professor that stood up and spoke to the students who now were getting capped and sash and all that stuff. I'll never forget this talk. He spoke to us in the gallery where, everyone's parents and everything else is sitting there.
Yeah.
But he's now speaking to us, the ones who are just graduating in my first degree. He said,
how do you know if someone has multiple degrees? They tell you.
Exactly.
Got you.
Got me. So he's sitting there talking to us. He says, I'm talking to you all now. What does it mean to graduate with this degree today? How many degrees are there in a circle? 360.
Yeah.
He says, always remember that you have one of the 360 degrees in a circle.
That will humble you quickly.
And never forget that you have a lot more to learn than you could ever learn in this degree.
Beautiful. Love that.
Because you have to have a 360 degree view of the world in order to be successful.
Absolutely amazing. And access to information allows you to go and find the 359 other degrees.
Exactly.
And not having it you just at such a disadvantage. And she's my homie. Salute. You know who you are. ROI positive. She's got this massive CV, my friend. Super impressive. European education, like super impressive. ROI comes into our business right now, and she has to compete, let's say, for example, against Carmen. Carmen finished high school like me. I barely finished high school, but I just did. Very proud moment. Salute. Carmen has been actively doing a certain function on, let's say, meta advertising. She has no degree. She comes in with a person with honors. I mean, it's not even the same sport they're playing. She's still thinking about, what is the heading of your printed media. Am I speaking sense to you? She understands how important the heading is when you're writing an article. Who reads an article? You need to create content that is the first 3 seconds need to do something. The next 3 seconds, the third 3 seconds need to do something. And unless you have access to the information, now I think 6 years from now, if they both put the same amount of work, then we'll see who's hungrier, who has more grit, who can last longer, who has more pain tolerance, who will be better in 6 years. But the fact that only 1.7% of people have access to free information that Carmen has puts them at a massive disadvantage, and I think it's compounding. because you are all of a sudden learning how the platform performed, what evolved, what changed, and eventually you understand all these other steps and layers to be able to be effective of the new thing that comes along.
Well, I mean, I think you can think of this of that in another way, and that is somebody with a higher education is coming in. Let's talk about that in that marketing world. Is coming into that marketing world top down.
Top down.
Top down.
Okay.
Okay. Having grown up in the weeds, you're taking a bottom-up approach.
Yes.
Okay. So there's benefits to both. Top-down versus a bottom-up approach. So in your example of creating ads, creating creative, writing the copy, that's a bottom-up approach. And quite often, those people who have used the internet to educate themselves, used YouTube videos, used Chat GPT to educate themselves, have a much broader view of how to execute than the person coming in with this top-down consulting approach.
Yeah. Because you know how to find information.
Yes. And that's why I say university education primarily is there to teach you how to learn. I think it changes your brain structure in some way.
Yeah, which is a good thing.
It's a good thing, but it's not the end. It's actually just the beginning. It's just the beginning.
Beautiful.
And if you can learn how to apply that bottom-up approach and you have an education, then you're formidable. But quite often, people with higher educations walk in and they know it all.
Yeah. The ego, the look at me, I've got a degree on the wall, etc., etc. And then maybe some people are wondering, okay, so we have access to information, but there is only X amount of jobs. Perfect, cool. So very close friend of mine, very, very close friend of mine has been doing this, what I'm about to share with you now, for the past 8 years, and has worked for 3 different companies in the last 8 years, outperforming everybody that he competes against, because I see his income. So he works for a medical insurance company in the States from Cape Town.
That's growing. More and more and more American companies can pay us less as South Africans versus having to pay an employee in America, and especially if you work for a company on the East Coast, you don't have to work all hours of the morning.
Yes, because the time difference is not that.
It's maybe 5-6 hours.
Yeah, he works until 12. He works until midnight. And then wakes up whatever time he wakes up. He's got the day to do his things, and then he starts at around 4 o'clock or so.
Okay, so that goes back to, is Starlink good for South Africa? That was the question, right? So now we're on to a second benefit, which is job opportunities now open up internationally.
Of course.
Because South Africans can be paid less, because our cost of living isn't as high as the cost of rent is not as high as America. Food cost is not. I mean, our food is cheap compared to world standards.
You came from Berlin 3 days ago.
A burger, my friend.
A burger, yeah?
A burger in Europe.
Did you have a burger?
I had a burger.
Ooh.
I did. I do cheat from time to time.
Okay.
I had a burger.
By the way, I had to ask Mr. George, please put on your sweater, because I can't handle you all veiny and ripped and lean, so that it makes me feel better that I'm not veiny. Yes, you had a burger.
I had a burger.
Jeez.
My friend.
How was it? Good.
It was good. Yeah, the burger
What
was
did
good.
it cost?
The burger, if you was about 20 euros to 18 euros.
For a burger?
For a burger.
What was in the burger? Filet steak? What was inside?
No, normal burger, but it was decent, and it was at a decent place, right?
Did you have chips?
No.
Okay.
I didn't.
Okay. And a Coke? Did you have a Coke?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't. I had Americano coffee. So that was probably on the upper end, and you can get burgers for, 10 euros.
It's still very expensive.
But still, you multiply that by 18 or 20 or whatever the exchange rate is.
400 Rand for a burger, my friend. You can feed a whole family.
So exactly. You're paying anywhere between 200 Rand to 400 Rand for a burger. And that's I should have gone to check the price of McDonald's because that's a good comparison. The McDonald's test. So food is very expensive versus our food. Our food is really cheap in South Africa. Housing is very expensive because the cities are more densely populated.
Yeah.
So everybody wants to live in a particular place.
Yes.
So that pushes up rent costs, pushes up housing costs. So food and housing very expensive in America and in Europe. So American companies, probably European companies too, can pay South Africans less, which economically makes sense for them, and they're doing it. It's happening more and more. So if we can get a service like Starlink into this country, and that 1.7% internet access can triple, quadruple, go up to 20% overnight, job opportunities open up.
Fun fact.
And guess what? Those US dollars or those euros from Europe, guess where they come to?
Coming here.
They come here.
In your Capitec account, in your ABSA account.
Guess where they get spent?
Here.
They get spent here.
Yes, economy goes up. So just on him, he's got this, like, it looks like he's playing Call of Duty. He's got this headgear, and I walk into the room and he sounds different. He doesn't speak the same way he speaks to me. So I said, bro, like, you never lived in America. He says, yeah, I've done a couple of online courses to be able to sound a lot closer to the natural dialect of Americans. Free. So he sounds American when he speaks to the American people, selling them insurance.
Lovely.
Free. Bringing US dollars here and then spending
it in South Africa.
He's young, probably at like bars and clubs and stuff on the weekends. So, but still spending it here.
Raising the levels of our economy. In South Africa. There is no bad outcome.
Agree. Except maybe one. But I don't want to get into it. Maybe I can touch on it.
You can't go into the Free State and look at the stars because all you'll see is satellites.
maybe, you know, which I'm not spreading propaganda, but maybe, you know, the people's blinkers, like a racehorse, are removed with access to information. Then you become a free thinker.
Well, I suppose that's the second benefit is besides access to information, you get access to current affairs.
Yes.
What is happening in the world?
Yes.
And what is the benefit of that? I can make up my own mind.
Yeah.
I can decide what to do. I can decide who to support.
Yeah.
I can decide who not to support.
Yeah.
As a citizen of a country. So access to information also gives me access to current affairs.
Yeah.
And real time.
Yeah. No, not.
I don't have to wait for the newspaper tomorrow morning. I don't have to trek to the city center or the town center to go and find out what's happening.
Yeah.
I know if there's a disaster in another country, I'll know about it immediately.
Yeah. India and Pakistan have a little
powwow,
have a little turf war there in real time. We know DJ Trump called them both in the office, said, "Hey, you, bly still, calm down. Okay, we'll do business with both of you. Now go back. No more bombing, no more shooting. Relax." Boom.
You'll know about it in real time.
Immediately.
So education, access to information real time, access to more jobs.
Immediately.
International businesses are looking for South African skills.
Yeah.
We're not stupid.
Yeah, not at all. And we're very hardworking.
Yes.
We're very, very hardworking. Another fun fact, I get placed in a group with some people that we're being mentored by someone in the States. This person recommends me, because I live in South Africa, to someone that has a business in Australia with call centers. And that person reaches out, texts me, we have a Zoom. Bobby, how does the call center environment look? Is there potential for me I'm looking for about 100 agents. Where do I start looking? Where do I start? 100 jobs. 100 jobs.
Wow.
So I don't know where to point him, in which direction to point him immediately, but let me do some homework. I'll ask around. I'll phone a couple of people and I'll try and assist you. He wants 100 people to work for him, for his insurance company in Australia, but in South Africa.
Why?
Because it's cheaper.
It's cheaper.
But just because it's cheaper doesn't mean we are less effective. It means our lifestyle is cheaper than it is there.
Well, it's cheaper to live in South Africa than it is anywhere else.
Correct.
So you do get the benefit of probably being paid slightly more than you would be paid in South Africa, but less than they would pay in their country.
Yeah. And what is the long-term effect? If we do a good job with a 100-person call center, that potentially grows to 200 and 300. And my dad taught me this. He said, Bob's, a guy with a call center of 100 people, when he goes out or he goes on a social setting, who does he hang out with? Other guys with call centers. Guess what? I've made a plan and I'm saving 20% by outsourcing my call centers to South Africa. I've got one in Cape Town, one in P, wherever. You guys should check it out. This is how I did it. Boom, another 1,000 jobs.
Exactly. So job creation of a satellite internet service. I mean, how long will it take to dig trenches, put up cell towers, to get internet to these areas?
That's the thing. Good question. Like we built this property from scratch here where we're sitting through fresh concrete. Like I'm like, oh, we should paint it and have it lacquer. Eventually, City of Tshwane said, no, you can't paint the concrete. Even though you threw it, it's still part of the sidewalk, whatever, we can't paint. Okay, no problem. It was beautiful. My friend, they came, they dug up one line, and then they came and did a half job to fill it up again. We dug it up again. We filled it up properly. A couple of months later, they put more fiber. They dug it up again. It's a mess. It looks horrible. Where that's just, boom, beam from the satellite, you've got internet. Exactly.
And to connect, I mean, how many thousand, these spam calls.
Yeah.
Check, he phones, now it's from a UK number.
Call center, my friend.
Can somebody please switch off the spam?
Is your neck sore? No. Are your eyes sore? No. Is your back sore? No. Is your left thumb sore? Yes. Okay, we've got a solution for you. These guys are relentless.
How many satellites does Starlink deploy currently? So Starlink currently has, as of the end of May, there are 8,747 Starlink satellites, with 6,700 currently operational, and they deployed 1,026 satellites across 42 dedicated launches, averaging over 250 satellites per month that they launch. No one can do this as fast as this company.
No, not even close.
No one. So if they're, the thing about Starlink is, besides all of the benefits we just spoke about, they'll be able to deploy immediately.
Yeah. So
there's no waiting. Oh, we need to launch satellites. Oh, we need to build infrastructure. It's going to take 5 years. No, tomorrow.
Yeah, done.
I believe in execution tomorrow.
Yeah. Done. Consider it done. I watched an interview with him and Bloomberg. It's very good if you guys, like a recent one a couple of days ago. The lady was extremely rough on him. My friend, you must see that. Very, very arrogant and rough towards him. And
was he on the screen?
Yes.
I saw that.
Where he had a beautiful comment about Bill Gates. I don't know if you saw that. You didn't see that.
The Bill Gates comment.
So the Bill Gates comment was, they asked Elon Musk about research into vaccines for children, and Bill Gates is involved in many of these researches. It's like, how does Bill Gates care about children when he's visited Epstein Island like 10 or 12 times on the interview? My friend, the crowd went berserk. The people were like, yeah! Like, he riled up everybody. But besides the point, he had figures. He said Starlink is responsible for 90% of all internet satellites that are currently operational. China 5%, and then a couple of percent in Europe, and then the rest are in America. So everybody put together, they're like 10 times bigger than everyone put together.
Well, their objective here seems to be to expand the constellation. They're currently 6,000 operational, 8,747 satellites. They want to expand the constellation to 12,000 satellites, so double. And then the longer term goal is to increase that number to 40,000 satellites.
Beautiful.
I think we're just going to be a satellite net
Yes.
around the planet.
Yes. Beautiful. Then at any point in the Karoo, you can have 5G internet that is cost effective. That doesn't, for the first time, I've got like a 20 gig contract on my phone. I ran out of data.
Yeah.
I ran out of data, and I bought on my Absa app. Data is expensive.
Yeah. Data is very expensive.
Extremely expensive. So maybe the pushback is, what happens to the companies that already operate in South Africa? It's a massive risk for them.
It is. It is a massive risk, but that's what competition's about.
Yes. Yes.
And competition will sort out the market demand and supply
Yes.
and price.
So I can't wait for Starlink. I'm excited.
So I think this is good all round. So there's another topic that I was telling you this story. So a friend of mine, I sent you this the other night. A friend of mine phones me up the other night. He says to me, George, I'm buying this car off Facebook for my daughter. Can you tell me whether this is a good idea or not? So I get hold of you. It's like, can we do some checks on this car? Turns out that this car, in perfect condition, looks like it'd been written off. All airbags deployed, and been repaired.
Yeah.
And this person is selling this car on Facebook.
Yeah.
As a car that's never been in an accident. Long story about how they're leaving the country and granny's car, that kind of thing. But in the meantime, in the background, this car is a problem waiting to happen.
Yeah, yeah. So again, lack of integration of systems from many levels. We have a POPIA fear. So protection of personal information, therefore not allowing this information to be public knowledge. Lots of red tape that we had to jump through and hoops that we had to jump through to connect into eNatus to be able to pull ownership, which in my opinion is we have the advantage, but it's a huge disadvantage to the rest of the dealer network and to the public. To the public, because I'm not saying that car shouldn't be sold to the public. I'm saying it should be transparent and also that vehicle, that specific vehicle that was uneconomical to repair, that's the term that people use, and then again repaired and sold as a second-hand car. That vehicle should not be valued the same way as a vehicle that was not uneconomical to repair.
Exactly.
Just a normal
so
used car.
It's all about transparency. So
Yeah.
if a car is a code 3 car,
yeah, so that's not a code 3 though. That's a code 2 because
it's repaired.
It's repaired. A code 3 means it was written off,
Yes.
and it's.
But how do we know this car wasn't written off?
So it was uneconomical to repair. It was not written off.
Some cars should be written off.
So that's where I think this is a bigger, not a can of worms, my friend. This is a drum of worms. So again, following the money. If you consider that the insurance companies get a percentage which is higher on an uneconomical to repair not written off versus a written off vehicle at a salvage auction, the insurance companies will probably halve their income if they write off every uneconomical to repair vehicle. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if I change it to code 3, there's a much lower value to it.
Of course it is because of that flag. But I don't think that's the overarching point though. The overarching point is the transparency around the vehicle, and that the consumer knows what this vehicle's history is about.
Easy fix, very easy fix. I can fix it in 30 seconds for you. extremely easy
Go.
fix. The POPIA Act can still be compliant, meaning we remove any personal information like ID number,
Personally identifiable information.
yeah, remove that from the report that you present and just have a track record of the person that bought it, then it was sold to this person, then it was sold to boom, insurance company, it's a red flag, you know there was an incident, and then whoever bought it afterwards. Then you can make a decision.
So, should the car buying public buy cars off Facebook? I mean, I know that I'm likely biased because, you need to come to Auto Trader. You're not 100% out of the woods,
Yeah.
because you could get a car seller like a dealer, very few of them, that could be masking a problem on the car, knowingly or unknowingly. Some dealers don't know that car's been through the ringer.
But both scenarios, yeah. So I think that your probability of buying one of those vehicles on a Facebook page is extremely high, or much higher. Buying on Auto Trader, the dealership was vetted, so there's some sort of recourse. There's checks and there's recourse as well. Because, for example, perfect example. This morning, I'll even show you the message. I had a WhatsApp where I had an unhappy customer, like literally a threat. I will make Auto Trader aware of these 4 points, because I'm unhappy with the service.
But there's a product for that called ratings and reviews.
Yes. So he's warning me before he writes a bad review, because I solicit reviews.
Got you.
I constantly solicit reviews. So I have not received a copy of my warranty yet. That was the one thing. I have not yet received a copy of the registration papers where it's on my name and my new license disc. I've not received my new number plate. So he's got valid complaints, and he's telling me, if you don't give me joy right now, I'm going to report you with a bad review, because I asked him for a review. That's another super slick trick for the dealers that are watching. I ask all the customers
To review.
In my personal capacity to review us, because then it's an honest conversation without me having a buffer between me and the customer. The salesperson says, yeah, he's very happy. In the meantime, he's like, oh shit, I need to do. So this guy is unhappy about these 4 points. Before I complain, I'll give you an opportunity to resolve it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, sir. So there's some kind of a recourse. I don't want a bad review on your platform.
Of course you don't. Yeah.
Because that will take me from however many, I think we're on 4.8 stars, which we worked really hard to do, down to 4.5 or 4.2. Then there's another guy ahead of. I want to resolve this now. So the amount of checks that a dealership does listing on your website is a lot more than Facebook. There's no recourse.
Yeah.
You pay the guy, he takes the money, you take the product, salute. Hopefully it's not stolen or cloned, salute. Bye-bye.
Or uneconomical to repair, and you don't know about it.
And you don't know about it. Yeah.
So it's all about transparency. So, buying off Facebook can be a very dangerous affair.
Yeah.
Because you just don't know what that car has been through,
or
who you're buying from. Because who you're buying from is probably the most important part.
I've got another scenario. In real time, lots of people reach out to me, Bobby, I've got this problem. It's like I'm Dr. Phil now. Like, holy shit. I've bought a car off Facebook. I don't know how to get the papers. The person I bought the car from said that they'd paid the bank and they're expecting the paperwork to come. The settlement is 200,000 Rand. There's no papers. The car belongs to the bank. That person paid the person that financed the vehicle and signed for it, and that dude used the money. Now he's paying the installment every month while having the. Do you understand what happened here?
Yeah, he's paid for the car, and he's got to pay the debt, because otherwise the bank's going to fetch the car.
So I said, may I be direct with you? He said, yes, please. That's why I reached out. Said, I don't know what you should do, because I don't. I've got no advice for you. I don't know what to say. What do you mean? I don't know what you should do. Certain checks were supposed to be made, obviously by you. You are unaware of what the dangers are, but you bought from a private person. There's no recourse for that person. You can drive the car, hopefully makes the payments until the end of the term, and then if he decides to give you the paperwork, then salute to him. If he doesn't, then he can just fetch his car, because it's actually his car.
Exactly. So be careful what platform you buy cars from, or on, should I say, because you just don't know. Auto Trader's got ratings and reviews, we've got price indicators, which tells you what the reasonable range of the price might be, and we check the dealers out.
Recourse,
and then there's potential recourse to the dealer selling cars off the platform.
There is not a single dealer that competes at a fairly high level that can afford not to be on Auto Trader.
Thank you.
That's the truth. I say it in front of you, behind your back, it's the truth. And why I say so is, if I screw up, eventually you'll say, this dealer is giving our customers a poor service. We don't want him to do that anymore. Remove him off our platform. Do you have the power to do that?
Yeah, I mean, every customer that advertises on the platform has an advertising agreement.
Yes,
and there are codes of conduct and practices that the dealer subscribes to, which is in the terms and conditions of the contract that you sign. And if you breach those terms and conditions, then we terminate the contract, and you can no longer advertise on the platform.
And how are you going to sell your cars if you can't advertise on Auto Trader?
So that's one recourse. But we'd prefer the market to take care of itself. And so in the way we do that is to make the listing as transparent as possible. That's why we're speaking about the transparency of whether a vehicle's being I'm not concerned about whether a vehicle's been in an accident before. That's not the concern. The concern is not whether the vehicle's been written off. The concern is not whether it's a code 3. My drive is to make sure that the transparency of what's happened to that car is there. That's the drive. Yeah. And if the transparency of what's happened to the car is made to the consumer can then decide for themselves. Yeah. And then similarly with the dealer, being transparent with that dealer's reputation. Let the market decide whether they want to buy from Mitmac Motors or not.
Yeah, 100%.
And based on the reputation that Mitmac has brought, Mitmac will either decline or grow. Hopefully, grow.
Yeah. If you honor the promise that you made to your consumer, will take care of you, quality, reliability, peace of mind. That's what we stand for, and they actually see that in the process and after the purchase, then why not refer someone? These people made a promise. This is what they said they'll do.
Exactly.
They did exactly that. This customer, now we already had 5 or 6 exchanges. I said, sir, I don't want to sugarcoat anything. We screwed up. The registration and the paper and the license disc and the number plates are done like 5 days ago. The person that sold you the car just never informed you. And our safety net is the person that registered the car also never informed you. But I'm not going to name their names. Me. I failed because I need to improve the communication in our process. This is not a process, it's a person. I need to give them better training and actually show them, guys, girls, there's a girl and a guy involved. This is the type of message I receive when this process is not followed. Do you think I like this message? They're like, no. So do you think I would enjoy a bad review stating these facts? No. So please don't put me in this position again. Bye-bye. Hopefully it doesn't happen for a while.
Well, bad reviews are going to come. I mean, every business, every person screws up at some point. It's how you respond to that screw up is what you're saying. That's the most important part. You can't expect any dealer out there to be perfect.
Yeah.
Selling hundreds of cars is probably hundreds of thousands of process steps to move through in order to ensure that car is seamlessly bought, reconditioned, and then sold to the consumer. You can't expect that to be flawless all the time because otherwise somebody has found the magic wand, and all we need to do is find that magic wand and replicate that process and take it. But another question to you, my friend, is for somebody who advertises on Auto Trader, is listing all your stock on the platform important?
Is selling cars important?
Yes, of course it is.
Okay, so then absolutely yes. Because,
if you've got, say, 200 cars available for sale, Is there any point in only advertising 150 of them?
Have you ever watched Casino, the movie?
No,
Never.
never.
No.
Serious.
Have you never watched?
I don't
Casino?
like casinos, so
Maybe
maybe I'm missing out on something.
probably top 3 movie of all time.
Yeah.
Casino with Robert De Niro. There's 2 scenes that have changed my life. I'm going to answer your question by quoting what happened.
You
in
got me
Casino.
on the edge of my seat.
So the first scene that will answer your question is there's a Japanese player that's very aggressive. He's like a high roller. So he's like a tornado. Because if you play slowly, the idea is if you play a table and you play very slowly, the house eventually always wins. So those are not scary players. You know, there's some guys that cheat. They've got hand signals and then they scratch their
No,
nose.
they're just to drink whiskey.
Oh, yeah, have fun.
And
have fun.
yeah.
Okay, but the house always wins. The danger is with that Japanese guy.
He's there to win.
He's there to win, my friend. So in order for him to get there, they need to send a private jet because he's a high roller. He spends $3-4 million a night. So they get this guy there and he cleans them out. He takes like $4 million in 3 hours on Baccarat. I don't know what that is, but the game is still in my mind. It's called Baccarat. And then he says goodbye, goes upstairs, has his girlfriends, then takes. It's such a kick-ass movie. Takes the towels, takes the little shampoos, puts all that shit in his bag, and then goes on the private jet. And now he's going home with $4 million of their money.
Why is he taking the shampoo?
Because he's greedy, my friend. He took $4 million and the towels and the shampoo and the what do you call it? Those pantoffels, those things that you wear. What do you call
Sandals.
them? Stokies. Yeah, Stokies. Yes, he takes the Stokies.
And the gown.
So Robert De Niro is a G, my friend. He says that he creates a problem with the aeroplane, and then he creates a problem with a commercial plane. So the connecting flight, it's a fuck up. So they have to go back to the casino, the hotel, and spend the night there. And then the aeroplane will be fixed, and then they'll fly off to Japan or wherever the hell they came from. Okay, so he wants him back into the casino because the rule is the house always wins and eventually he'll take all his money. And here's how I'll answer your question. In that scene, the guy plays small. So you see all these stack of chips.
Is this in night number 2 now when he comes back?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. He's got all the stack of chips and he plays small. But when he wins, and this is how I process your question. When he wins, he doesn't see it as, because normally he would play $10,000 a hand. Now he plays $500 a hand. So he's not winning $500. He's losing $10,000 every time he wins. So when you advertise 150 cars on your platform and you have 200, you're not, say you sell a third of your stock. You're not actually
saving.
You're not selling 50 cars. You're losing 25 cars.
There's an economic principle
Yes.
that you've just described.
Okay.
It's called opportunity cost.
Opportunity cost of the 50 vehicles that you are not advertising is actually you losing money.
You lost, yeah. So what is the best alternative that you've lost? Opportunity cost.
So whatever percentage of stock you sell on AutoTrader from advertising, the
It's
amount
not to look at it from a profit point of view.
Okay.
Exactly.
But from
what
a
you're
loss,
saying,
yeah, from
but
a loss,
from a loss
yeah.
point of view.
So let's say 30% of our cars sell, and 30% of 50 cars is what is it? 15 cars. You lost 15 cars profit by being cheap.
And I think the reason some dealers do this is because to advertise 200 cars is more expensive than to advertise 150 cars.
Yes.
Okay. So the 50 car, not advertising 50 cars, saves them some advertising cost.
So what is that cost, and what is your APU, your average per unit? Compare those two.
So the opportunity cost is what I lost on what I could have sold minus the cost of that additional advertising, which is huge.
Yes. You've never watched Casino.
Never. I'm going to go watch it
Casino,
now.
my friend.
But there's another reason to advertise every single car, which gets you to that principle. And that is dominating the search page.
Yes, because you have more stock.
More stock, more screen real estate. You've got to try and take over Auto Trader's screen real estate with all your cars.
Yes.
If you're not, I would even say advertise a car that is not even showroom ready yet.
Yes.
Don't wait until you've got the perfect picture. And the perfection is the enemy of done.
Yeah, that's true, my friend.
Perfection is the enemy of done. So advertise the cars as they come into your funnel. If you've bought a car and it's sitting in Cape Town, get someone to take a couple of photographs in the street of that car and advertise it.
Yeah.
Dominate the screen real estate.
Yeah. So forever and a day, I had a fight with our team because they wanted everything to be perfect. We have to present ourselves as dealer of the year, as the people's champ. It has to be consistent. Even the angles, we have literally dots in our photo booth, how you take go and look at it. It's precise every time. And eventually I started winning. I said, guys, we have a waiting stock, 30 cars. 30 cars by an average of 300,000 Rand a car. Where are we? Like, a lot of money is not shown to the public.
Yes.
I don't like using the word, but you will advertise these cars as arriving soon. Boom, sales go up.
Yeah, yeah.
Because now the customer says, yeah, I saw this car, but is it in already? Because it's on the side of the street. Yes, so we bought it in Cape Town. It's on a truck. It will be here in 2 days. So it is, you have it in stock. Yes,
It's
we have
available.
it in stock.
It does belong to Mitmac. It's on its way to Joburg.
Paid for.
Yeah.
It's on a truck. It's on. Okay, cool. I'll do the app. Boom.
Yeah, exactly. And you say sales go up.
So immediately.
Exactly. So not flipping topics. Back to the internet. Artificial intelligence, my friend. Do you use it on a daily basis?
So that's an area where we spend a lot of money on, and that maybe we can jump straight into it. Google AdWords. Uh-huh. So I used to Google everything and then decide which one looks.
Well, now you got to decide which listing is the right one to click into, right?
Yeah, because now you've got an article written by this. This looks dodgy. This one's familiar. Whether it's true or not, it's familiar. Then I'll click on that one.
Yeah.
And then I'll go and read whatever information I'm looking for. I don't use Google at all anymore.
So for the first time in the history of the iPhone, this is reported by Apple. For the first time in the history of the iPhone, Safari searches on Google have declined.
For the first time.
For the first time in the history of the iPhone.
Jeez. That's real data.
And that is because people are using platforms like Chat GPT more than they're using Safari or Googling.
It's just so much more efficient. I spoke about it the last time we sat together. Driving an electric car to work, we had an i3 BMW, and I'm just enjoying this car, and I'm like, the power, the torque, the economy. ChatGPT, how much would it cost me to refill this vehicle from zero while I live in Pretoria with the current rates? Now, if I have to Google that answer, I need a couple of searches. So what is the current electricity rate in Pretoria? I need to first figure that out. Then I need to go and figure out what kilowatt battery does this car have.
You got to do all the maths, connect the dots.
Yeah. And hopefully I do the calculation correctly, which is highly unlikely unless I go and search a calculator to combine the two. ChatGPT while driving. Voice note, Tululu in my ear.
Done.
Without ever looking away.
So I've got another question on that, but before we get there, so the implications for Google's dominance in the search market as a company that currently pays Apple $20 billion annually is at risk of remaining the default search on Safari.
So they pay them 20 billion to remain the default search.
Yes.
Just for that.
Yes, that privilege on Safari.
Okay. Wow. That's an interesting fact.
So now you've got a situation where Apple's search on Safari has declined in Google, or using Google.
How
For
do
the
they
first
remain
time
relevant?
in 22 years.
How do they remain relevant, and how I'm just thinking both sides of the equation. How if our own Chat GPT, I'm not paying you 20 billion because naturally the people are coming to me. I don't need to be your default search.
So now, this is where it gets interesting, because Microsoft has an investment in Chat GPT.
I did
In
not
OpenAI.
know. I did not know
Yes.
that.
So Microsoft and OpenAI are in the same bed together. Okay. Microsoft and Apple are longtime arch enemies.
Yes.
Okay.
Friends for a second, and then yeah.
So they're natural
Competitors, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Google has integrated Gemini into Samsung and Android phones. So
Okay.
Gemini is integrated as the artificial intelligence into Android phones.
But it's not set as a default user yet.
I don't know. I don't use an Android phone, so I don't
Okay.
know. Okay. Apple is rumored to be developing a partnership because of this 20 billion. They've got a partnership with Google to be developing a partnership to integrate Gemini into the Apple iPhone and ditching Siri, which is a humongous disaster. Okay. What does that do to Chat GPT? Because as Apple, you see Microsoft, Chat GPT, okay, well, maybe we should continue our partnership with Google because we pay this 20 billion a year. So maybe Google's like seeing the threat, integrate Gemini into the Apple iPhone.
Is Gemini as good?
Much smaller market share versus ChatGPT, but still a formidable competitor because it's Google. I don't know what the answer to your question is, but in terms of size, how big is Gemini versus ChatGPT? Asking ChatGPT about itself. So ChatGPT, as at 2025, has a significant lead over Google's Gemini. Here's some of the numbers. ChatGPT, monthly active users, 600 million monthly active users. Daily active users, 160 million. Google, monthly active users, 400 million. Not far behind.
Not far behind.
Daily active users, 35 million. So that's where they fall down. Market share accounts for nearly 80% of all AI tools visited.
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT,
80%.
80% of all AI sites visited.
So,
you can see.
a couple of things. I think the market will dictate, the market being us, the end user, will dictate what happens in that war, in my opinion. Whoever positions their product, whoever positions it better to the market will win.
Yeah.
Not whoever's got more money.
Well, exactly. I mean, OpenAI with ChatGPT has currently got the edge because everyone's using ChatGPT now. So you're going to now ask yourself, okay, what's the switching cost? I've been using ChatGPT. It knows a lot about me.
Would you consider switching?
Would I switch to Gemini?
It will take you months, or can you export that?
I don't think
can't.
you can.
I'm sure that's like going to be safeguarded. It will take you months to get to the same level where you are now in terms of your account, understanding how you think and who you are.
Yes.
Your health, your...
Because
your
right now
everything.
I can say to ChatGPT, give me a 1-paragraph bio on myself, and it'll tell me. Gemini knows nothing
Yes.
about me.
Huh. Very interesting. What about Google AdWords?
So Google AdWords, this is an interesting one because, I mean, nobody knows what the outcome of this is going to be. But at the moment, ChatGPT does searches. You've seen it.
Yes.
So when you prompt, it does an internet search and then it provides you with links. It never provided links probably about a year and a half ago. It never provided links. Just
links and
provided the
images
answer.
as well.
It provides now links and images to third-party websites. Will Google AdWords suffer? I think in the long run, yes.
Of course, because search
is down.
It's down.
Yes. So what do you do as a business to safeguard yourself Because now, if you can't buy Google AdWords anymore, or you can, but it's got limited reach, right?
It's going to be less effective.
It's going to be less effective. What is the answer today? I've got an idea.
Tell me.
Build a brand.
Yes.
Build a brand.
That safeguards your existence.
Because at some point, these artificial intelligence models will be able to tell the brand reputation one against the other. So if you've got lots of reviews out there, you've got lots of content out there, and you've built an online brand, Chat GPT, Gemini, when they crawl the internet for answers, your brand is going to be stronger.
Yeah. Agree?
And you're likely going to come up. How they're going to monetize this, I have no idea.
I'm sure eventually between searches, you're going to see Uncle Bobby. If you're looking for a bigger, smaller manual automatic car, click on the link below and we'll help you buy your next
sort you
purchase
out.
within Chat GPT, my friend. The moment that, like we always say, I wish I knew that 10 years ago, and I wish I knew how powerful email marketing was 20 years ago. It was extremely powerful.
Exactly.
Is it powerful today? No, sort of.
Yeah, well, I mean, you get very, very, very little
Single
conversion.
digit.
Single digit.
If you're
conversion.
good, you get maybe a 5% or 8% open rate. If you walk on water, it's double digit. But then, the evolution was Google AdWords. It was, I love Gary Vee. He always used to make it so practical in his older content. I spent $10 on, and then he always does this. I spent $10 on wine words, and I made $100 on every $10. So like,
The ROI was 10x.
crazy. And then I made 50, and then I made 40, and then I made no money. Then I had to make better ads, and I had to evolve. So if we knew that 20 years ago, we would have been a lot further ahead, because you would have gone all in on that.
All in on it, yeah.
So when ChatGPT allows us to market, I'm all in on ChatGPT.
You got to take the risk. You absolutely have to. Another final question from me on AI. How much smarter or dumber do you become as a human by using or not using AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, whichever one you choose?
I honestly think it's like not even in the same sport anymore, in my opinion. It's
on a different field.
It's on a different field, playing a different game. No matter how smart you are, you can have a hyper intelligent person in the room, and if I have my laptop open and we 3 layers down, he can't compete against me in any topic. 3 or 4 layers down.
So let's unpack this slowly. The average IQ of a human by design is approximately 100.
Across the world.
Across the world, the average IQ of a human. 68% of humans fall between 85 and 115.
Okay.
95% of humans fall between 70 and 130, broader spectrum. Okay. Under 70, intellectual disability.
Yeah.
Okay. 85 to 115, majority of people, 68%, 85 to 115. 120 to 129, above average. 130 plus, gifted or highly intelligent. 145 plus, genius level. Elon Musk type stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's assume for a second we're average.
100.
At 100. Okay. So how much smarter are you by using artificial intelligence?
In terms of IQ points now.
In terms of IQ points, right? I'm not talking about some people are still not there when it comes to EQ. Doesn't matter how clever they are.
Normally, the higher the IQ, the lower the EQ sometimes.
Okay, so here's the answer. Not biologically, right? So so emotional intelligence is an important point, but functionally, using AI can boost your effective intelligence by 20 to 40 points or even more.
To 40. So that means
You go from average
the guy walking around here amongst us to Elon Musk
to
using AI.
close to Elon Musk. Now imagine Elon Musk on AI, right? Okay. So suddenly,
I think he already is, because sometimes he gets these software updates that people show us. That he like 6.7.2, and then he's okay again.
so it's broken down into different stages. Stage 1 is rapid knowledge access. So when you do what you did earlier on,
Yeah.
who was the 15th president of the United States?
Yeah.
That answer gives you 10 IQ points. So rapid interaction with AI, quick knowledge. I want to know this, little snippets, that kind of thing. 10 IQ
Question
points.
answer.
Enhanced problem solving. So AI helps reframe problems and stimulates outcomes and avoids blind spots. Another 10 IQ points. Okay.
So just to make it practical. So here's my daily schedule. I'm not getting enough time to exercise. This is exactly what I do the whole day. Please reorganize my day so that I have an extra 30 minutes to go and lift some weights and sweat a bit and not be fat and lazy.
A long-lasting effect of the outcomes from AI.
Okay, so that's another 10%.
Like having a second brain.
Yeah.
Okay, so another 10. So we're on 20 now.
20, yes. How do we get to 40?
Improved communication gives you another 5 to 10 IQ points. So clearer writing, sharper thinking, and better persuasion skills. Okay. So I have this problem. I'm going into this meeting. This is how I think about it. That part's important, because if you don't tell the AI how you're thinking about it, it can't frame it as if it comes from you. Okay. That improves your IQ by 5 to 10 IQ points. Just improving your communication skills.
It's a superpower.
You sound smarter and you're more structured. Creative amplification gives you another 5 IQ points. So now we're on 10, 20, 30, 35. Okay.
Creative amplification.
Creative amplification. Creativity amplification. So you have to first be creative. you got to have a base here.
Yeah, you have to have a seed that you planted and water.
You've got to be able to prompt engineer, and prompt engineering takes a certain amount of creativity. AI helps you generate 10x more ideas based off your ideas. It remixes the ideas faster and overcomes creative blocks. So when you get a block in whatever creativity, feed it into the AI, you've given it a prompt, and that prompt is usually detailed. It then overcomes that block for you. Even non-creative people can now think like storytellers.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so now we're on 10, 20, 35. Okay, how do you get to 40? Decision-making support. So AI models can give you scenario analysis, risk forecasting, and multivariable synthesis. Give you a whole range of options, and you start to refine those options so that you can refine your strategy. Strategy, as we know, is just direction.
Yeah,
That's
decision, yeah.
Decision and direction. And this is something few people, so decision making, supporting a scenario analysis, as few people can do on the fly. That's what gives you that extra bump. So scenario analysis, few people can do it.
It's like being 2 or 3 moves ahead of your decision. What if? What if I say this and they say this, I'll have a rebuttal. What if I say this? Or what if, but perfect example, my friend, and it's a sad one. A family, close family of ours, woman, stage 4 cancer, refuses. She doesn't have a long time left. She's in her 60s, refuses chemo. She had it once. She said, I'm not having it again.
Oh.
She says, I'm going to have a couple of months or a year, whatever the time frame is.
But I'm going to have a good couple of months.
Yeah, I want to enjoy it. Like that decision is, I'm like, respect whatever you choose, respect. That's a tough decision. So it could help you with that.
Exactly.
Put in all your medical records, everything that the doctor has supplied you, everything that you have on your condition, and help you make a decision. is there even a 0.5% chance if I go through this torturous, tedious process in the next couple of months that I may recover, and base your decision off that?
I'll tell you a personal story to that effect in a second. But to close off this, not using AI daily in 2025 is like refusing to use a GPS but still asking for directions, except in the AI world, the map is alive and can answer back.
I love it. I love it. And it's free.
And it's free.
And it's free. You get to have the more detailed, intense version. I don't know, what does it cost a month? 100 Rand? 149 Rand? What is it? 2,000 Rand a year.
Yeah.
2,000 Rand a year for like, I think it's 4, Chat GPT 4.
Yeah, 4.5.
4.5.
Is it 4.5? Chat GPT 4.0.
4.0.
Yeah, 4.0. But in order to get, so what is that? 200 Rand a month? 250 Rand a month?
Yeah.
To get anywhere between 5
and 40
IQ points. Worth every single cent.
Absolutely.
Because now suddenly, if you're here and you're smart, right, and your colleagues, you were batting with your colleagues, and your colleagues start to use AI,
you did.
You're suddenly the dumbest person in the room.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
How do you reconcile not using AI?
So yesterday, I thought about the chip that Elon Musk has on offer.
Neuralink.
The Neuralink.
I don't think he's got it on offer yet.
Well,
because otherwise you'd be wearing it.
Yeah, yeah. Would you go and?
I would do it.
I'll be first.
I would do it.
So yesterday, I'm engaging on the phone with AirPods and WhatsApping, and there's another call coming. So I'm like, I wish I could speak to both people somehow, because these are potential customers that I can sell cars. We can make money, we can generate income while I answer WhatsApps. Like, how do I do that? How do I do that with my limited IQ?
You don't.
You don't. You don't have enough bandwidth.
You don't have bandwidth. And it's been proven time and time again that multitasking, whether you're male or female, is impossible.
Elsie? So Elsie was very impressed with me the other day because I was reversing and thinking at the same time. Yes.
You weren't actually. So what happens when you multitask?
You reverse and you think, and you reverse and you think. So you switch.
And that switching cost is very expensive. So to tell you a personal story. So I fed AI all of my blood tests. I do regular blood tests, and then I've done a series of DNA tests.
Okay.
Mouth swab. There's about 6 you can do. I think there's more now. So I fed all of my DNA tests, all of my blood tests, and so it analyzed all of the data in these. Now I don't understand the flipping DNA language.
Did you ask it how long will you live? Because that's what I would ask it.
No, I didn't ask that. I don't want to know.
No, I would want to know.
Actually, maybe I'll do it later. So I fed it all of this data, and the last blood panel I did was extensive, and all I said was, yeah, all my blood tests from like 8 years,
okay,
and all the DNA tests. Provide me with as detailed insights as you can give me by combining these 2 sets of data. So my biology in terms of blood tests, and the DNA, which is gene testing. And I found out something that I never knew.
That you're a legend. I knew that. Something else?
No.
Okay.
So my brain clears dopamine very, very quickly. Clears it. Okay? So my brain clears dopamine out of my system very, very quickly.
That's very good.
Well, it's good or it's bad. It depends on how you think about it. So dopamine. What's the official?
I mean, things affect you for a second, and then they don't affect you anymore. I think it's good in the business world. Because you get excited about a result, but then it's an old result. Let's go get more.
Exactly. It's that kind of thing. So the official biological reason for dopamine's existence is that it functions as a neurotransmitter, chemical, a messenger in the brain responsible for regulating key processes in motivation and reward. It helps with motor control, learning and habit formation, mood and emotional regulation. So I get bored with something very quickly. But now I know why. Because my dopamine receptor needs a new hit. Because my body clears the dopamine very quickly. And so in order for me to remain stimulated, there has to be novelty.
Okay.
In order for my body to produce more dopamine.
Interesting. So back to factory setting quickly instead of being affected.
So now, how do I turn that into a superpower? Because you said to me, is it because it's not necessarily a good or a bad thing. It can be bad in some ways and it can be good in other ways. Because I move on to the next thing very quickly. So how do I reset it? And fasting, which I just have been doing for years and years and years, resets the dopamine receptors.
Fasting. Is it?
Makes my body more sensitive.
Have you maybe been doing it because of the way it makes you feel? You like the way it makes you feel?
I think the fasting gives
not
me
knowing.
Yes, that my body clears dopamine very quickly. And then the fasting resets the dopamine receptors, which means that I use the dopamine more efficiently.
Yes. And that's why you've continued to fast
Exactly.
for so many years. Interesting, my friend. So
AI can help you change your life.
You saw the effect, but you didn't understand the cause, which you now do.
Now I understand the cause.
Because of Chat GPT.
Yes.
Okay. So you're going to ask it how long you're going to live for later.
I'll ask later.
Okay.
I'll let you know at the next podcast.
Cool. Based on this data, what date, exact date, hour, everything, where will I be? So I'll make sure that I try and beat you.
Anything else, my friend?
Awesome. That's it. Oh, maybe in closing, I'll ask your opinion. So personal opinion. I've received a lot of communication from within our industry and outside our industry. Bobby, I'm a small dealer. I've got one location and we do between 30 and 40 cars, and I've been stuck there. How do I break past 50? And initially, I ended up just sitting on all these long calls, 40, 45-minute calls. Okay, tell me about your incentive program. How do you incentivize your salespeople? Well, I've got this commission structure. Okay, I had that 7 commission structures ago. This is why I changed the commission structure. I added these 2 layers in, and now people are excited to race to a certain number and then get an incentive and then race. And if you have 2 people racing, you produce maybe 1 or 2 cars extra. If you have 20 people racing, you produce 10 or 15 cars extra to a certain date. So various things. So I spent 45, 55, sometimes an hour on the phone with a dealer because I'm passionate. I really want to tell you, stop doing what you're doing because I did it for many years and it doesn't work. Just change these 3 things. I put my phone down, 17 missed calls from my team. I'm like, holy shit, I added so much value into this person's life and I didn't add value what actually matters, and that's in my team, and then playing catch up. So as much as I like helping the industry and our colleagues, it takes some away from me. So what I've done over the past, call it couple of weeks to 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, I said, I'll sit with you at a fee and I'll unpack in 90 minutes the 3 or 4 areas that you are currently maybe not efficient in or as effective as it should be. Because for me, going from 30 to 50 cars, my friend, was extremely difficult. It took me half a decade. It took me 5 years. Going from 50 to 100 took me another probably 5 years to figure certain things out. Going from 100 to 200 took me months, not years, a couple of months. And I went to 200. So it was unlocking almost the sequence of things that this supplements this, which sequences to that, and that. So what you do here has an effect here. So it's like turning knobs.
Yes.
So do I, in your opinion, monetize this knowledge for myself by selling it to the dealers? And what are the risks of the dealer actually not doing what I set out for the dealer to do and having bad recourse back to me? Because ultimately I don't want to charge someone for something and they didn't receive enormous amounts of upstream value later on. Just high level, shoot like holes through my process.
So firstly, I mean, on the general principle itself, life, the world we live in, is about value exchange.
Yeah.
Okay? It's all about value exchange. Whether girlfriend, boyfriend, customer, supplier, country to country, we're not yet at planet to planet.
Elon is working
He's
on
working
it
on
really
that.
hard.
Mars to Earth.
Mars to Earth, yeah.
Okay. Or the moon to Earth.
There's a cool Instagram channel I'll share with you later where you can almost log in daily and you can, it's not a live, but it's like a couple of hours old where they've got high resolution cameras looking at things in Mars.
Oh, on the rover.
Yes. Have you seen that?
I've seen some of the footage.
That's crazy, my friend.
Crazy.
I'm addicted to that channel. Sorry.
So everything in life is about a value exchange. Everything we do is we're exchanging either receiving value or adding value.
Yeah.
And life and economies grow when there is an equal value exchange on both sides, where both parties are receiving value between each other, whether that be humans, countries, planets. So the thing about value, though, is besides a product. If I sell you a product and you give me money for that product, or in the old days I barter, I give you a product, you give me something in return.
Three chickens,
one goat,
whatever.
Exactly. One of the things we can provide as value is time. It's the most expensive value we can add is time.
Yeah, because if time is money, how efficient you are with your time will equate to how much money you make.
Besides the money, you're going to run out of it at some point. Not the money, the time.
Yeah, well, we'll know with you. Chat GPT is going to give us a date. Just kidding, my friend. You're going to beat that date.
So exchanging time for no value in return is a bad transaction.
Yeah, it's ROI negative.
It's ROI negative, okay? Unless you're investing and you're going to get the ROI at some point, or there's going to be some kind of downstream benefit. Like, for instance, if you spend time working at a charity.
Yeah.
So this is how I think about it. So you spend time working at a charity. Important thing to do.
Yeah.
Giving to society. Why are you giving your time to society?
Yeah.
Because maybe you've got disproportionate value before that moment and you've got more to give.
Yeah.
So you're not giving more than you're receiving. You've already received the value. You're just giving back to society. So there's a value exchange there. So the way I see it is you've accumulated all of this experience and knowledge. You have a formula.
Yeah. That's all it is. It's a formula.
And I would definitely monetize it if it's adding value to another business, because you have value to add. I would definitely monetize it, unless there's a value exchange that is non-monetary.
Yeah.
You want to build a partnership or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Different story. How much should you monetize about? I don't know what the answer to that is. But to answer your question, definitely, I would be monetizing it because you have value to add. If we had to now extend that to success, okay, because you said you don't want potential people that you add value to or dealerships that you add value to fail because that comes back on you. I would say that accountability is squarely on the receiving party.
How well can you execute the formula that I've given you?
Exactly. Because everything in business, the outcome, the success, the success of the outcome of anything you do is based on two things. And the first thing is the culture, systems, and processes that you have in that business, particularly the people and the culture. That is the bedrock. If you don't have that sorted out, don't even engage with Bobby.
Yeah.
Don't. You're going to waste your time. Because if you don't have that sorted out, your business is never going to be able to execute those ideas.
Yeah.
And then the second layer, I would say, is the owner, the executive team have to be invested
in that process.
They have to have skin in the game. They have to be invested in that process. Because if they're not, and they're like, okay, no, that person from business development, they can do it. I'm going to just go do my thing.
Play golf.
I'm going to go play golf. Yeah, no, you do it, PT. Okay.
Come to work at 9. That's the first question I asked them. What time do you come to work and what time do you go home? And before I start the conversation.
Exactly. If you're not invested as the owner of that business, as the entrepreneur, and you don't force the change.
Has to be forced. I agree.
You can give them gold on a silver plate. It won't work.
Got you. Thank you. That's a slick answer. Thank you.
It's a long answer.
No, it's a slick answer. I know exactly what to do.
100%.
Create friction in the initial contact and conversation, and I'll know within 3 or 4 questions whether I can help that person because they want to be helped or kindly declined.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you. Processed many issues that can affect, I think, the future of South Africa in terms of education and self-education and how to learn and access to information, all the way to helping me in a personal dilemma that I find myself in. As always, I've loved every second that we've spent together, sir. Thank you so much.
It's been epic. I don't know what episode number this is. It's got to be almost
16.
Episode
Cool.
16 already.
Before we go, I have to say, Elsa, are you still chewing that nicotine gum?
So we gave Elsie some nicotine gum.
Elsie's eyes were this big, and your pupils, your pupils. You look like you remember that movie Blade? Looks like she came out of Blade. It was just black eyes. Yeah, you look. Yeah, you look different. I'm like, shit, I hope your teeth don't grow out and you start growling. So one nicotine gum had Elsie in her head rush. She was lacquer for 15 minutes. Thank you.
That's awesome, my friend. Thank you.
All the best. Uncle Bobby and Top G out.